in 2024. One pace of growth to accelerate further, project inflation to fall to average of 22.1% in 2025. We must be doing something right in spite of the seemingly high inflation rate, seemingly poverty, seemingly inability of Nigerians to purchase staple meals and eat healthy again. The World Bank is commending Nigeria. How does that make you feel?
Again, Nigeria's, it needs to be positive. Okay, let me take it from where you stated that a lot of people are not eating healthy because
unable
of the unable to afford like a square meal, not even three square meals a day. And commending Nigeria economy, wow, that's a lot. But just like the news, Nigeria needs to generate better job and also reduce poverty, because it is glaring. It's all in our faces. Everybody is crying, even the rich are crying.
Absolutely.
So what about the poor? What about the person who is not able to even get a job? Because there are lots of young people who are out there without jobs. So how are they feeding? So we need to do better.
Absolutely.
Nigeria needs to create more jobs, and by doing so it reduces poverty, because that's just like the way out. We see a lot of young people jackpot, the jackpot syndrome, because they feel when we jackpot, we get more opportunities. Yes, out there. The country is not working. So I think I was having a conversation yesterday with a friend from North America, and jokingly she was like, "How is the economy in Nigeria?" And in my head, why are you asking about the economy in Nigeria? So we got talking, and then she said it's the same everywhere. That's
it's
the
not
same.
any
Yeah,
easier.
it's not.
It's actually not any easier.
It's not easy. So I feel that when Nigeria creates a lot of jobs, but then it's not just for the federal government to start creating jobs. It has to start from the local governments.
Right.
So we have like local government chairman, we have the governors of states and all of that. So it has to go from the state level before it comes to the federal. So if we are able to create jobs in the state level, by so doing, a lot of young people would not want to start running down to Abuja, which is the capital.
And seemingly it seems like it's another place where you can have access to jobs easily too.
That is what they think, but it is not as easy as they think. So if every state take up the responsibility of creating jobs for young people or for the indigents, I don't think anyone wants to leave their states to come to the state capital to get something doing. And by so doing, you are reducing the rate of poverty, unemployment, and then creating jobs.
I often do not peg the government in creating jobs. I just want them to ensure there is regulations and ease of doing business to enable investors, to enable private sector to thrive in jobs. And so I mean, when you even look at the sector, the petroleum sector, which is our mainstay, unfortunately, you would expect that we would do more in creating their several value chains in country, but we're still dependent in bringing in fuel. But for Dangote, who is doing a lot, I mean, we are now a bit relieved. We are seeing a trajectory of reduced. It may be 30 naira, it may be 2 naira, but we're recording reduction in the price of fuel. So, but for that, we do not have a vibrant petroleum industry in Nigeria. We just know crude sell, where there are several value chains that could have brought employment. There are several byproducts that comes from the crude. Nobody's looking in there as well.
True.
Very unfortunate as well. But we have other stories here. Jam! 78% of Nigerian students got less than 200, which is really... There was such a time, if you have 200, you are not going to get admission.
You're not.
I mean, for somebody like me who wanted admission in Unica, my father looked at me and said, "You must do well." And even though I got 270 at the time, I still didn't get admission into law. That's how competitive it is. So, JAM is engaging IT experts to review the 2023 examination that they just concluded examination.
Okay, so I feel jam again because my niece and nephews were they sat for it and they scored above 200. Okay, so
they are the good.
They are the good candidate because they read. I don't believe any examination body has the rights or the capacity to fail a student
or intentionally
fail the student. I feel there is a gap that lots of young people need to bridge, need to cover when it comes to education. Because when you look at the teenagers of this, like the Gen Zs, let me call them what their names are, the Gen Z, they're always on TikTok, they are always on social media, they are always distracted. So I will use a personal story. Like my nephew had a mock jam before this jam. So the first mock was 176 and I was like, no, you didn't read. You can't go, you can't even get admission even to a polytechnic with this. So you need to sit up, you need to read, and with lots of encouragement and home lessons. When the result came out, I'm like, oh, interesting. You see that the difference is because he did not read. So like lots of young people are lazy to read.
But a lot of parents are accusing jam of glitches which cause their words, children not to be able to really write well. There were people who complained that the instructions weren't even as clear. That is why the jam has found a need, because I can understand where jam is coming from. It's automated. It's
it is
computer name or
nobody is looking at your local government
or who your father is and saying yes, I'm passing you. So I can understand where jam is, just to clear the air. We'll get experts across board, professors. I mean, I read the press release from jam. It cut across several subsectors in the education landscape to come and give parents that clarity.
Okay.
That we did not do anything. It was not because there was a glitch.
Exactly.
This just happened because your students. This is garbage in, garbage out.
Yes, garbage in, garbage out. Like I heard someone saying jam gave them a question from the future. Like once you show me that this person did not read. Yeah, you were prepared. So why are you saying jam gave you a question from the future? Because you did not read.
When we go to write that's the ELT, the international English test. When we go to write that, we never claim there's glitches. Until you come back, you're like, okay, I need to do better next time. But when it is our own, parents who want to,
justify the fact that they failed.
You are making excuses for your children. Well, if they had a parent like mine or father like mine, you would not even say anything. You would be quiet. Come and talk about, my father will come and go to petition jam because of
you are supposed to read.
Wabara declares PDP's revival as BOT inaugurates new members. Wabara, Adolphus Wabara is the BOT chairman, and you already know the back and forth with the PDP. It seems like they're taking 2 steps forward and 5 steps backward. And I think their problem started after the primaries that held in 2022, where a lot of party members felt the PDP was again wielding these tickets to a northerner. The PDP was unable to clear cut say we because of federal character, we just had a northern president. Let us have from the south, and that annoyed the likes of Wike, who thought there was a monkey's hand in the pot. But since then, the PDP does not seem to have has not been in a good place. But Wabara is declaring here that the PDP is reviving. That is coming after the defection that has been happening all along. Do you share in that confidence?
The PDP is reviving. So what I have to say is, a house that is divided cannot stand.
Exactly.
So they need to have like unity in order for them to stand, because a lot is going on. A lot is going on with the PDP, the APC, and just put humanity first. You should be someone who has the Nigeria dream. we all have a Nigeria dream to make Nigeria better. So are you coming on board, or is your party supporting humanity or working for humanity or humanitarian progress? Other than that, I don't think they have a case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we move on from that story as we have several others here. Above the masthead, the nameplate of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, Unijust Professor Piwuna succeeds Asodeke as ASU president. Okay, we've been having a better relationship between ASU and this administration, and I hope that that continues, so that it doesn't stifle the education process. From UK ends overseas social care visas in major immigration shake-up. A lot of Africans, a lot of people had gotten visas to the UK based on the social worker pathway. And what do you think? Would this affect a lot of JAPA opportunities?
Yeah, it will affect a lot of JAPA opportunities because, first of all, okay, back again to Nigeria creating jobs. Social works is something that can be done here in Nigeria. It's a system works. So
it's largely on skills.
It's largely on skills, so you don't really need like a certification to get.
Although I know they are subjected to some trainings.
Training 6 months upon arrival or before arrival and all of that. I know some persons who got through the social works route, but right now it's going to affect a lot of people because that is one thing the JAPA syndrome has created over the period of time.
I mean, we're seeing a more transactional government around the world are having a more transactional world order instead of the liberal, which is live and let live, be your brother's keeper. Donald Trump came and has been very transactional in his world policies, and we're seeing the UK also have stricter visa policies because I mean, if these countries in their defense are not careful, you would hear there will be an unregulated influx. Nigerians, Africans have this mentality that it's just better out there, So moving forward, what do you think will happen? Do you think African governments would look inward and say, you know what, it's time to get our country to be the Dubai or the UK, so that we don't have our young talent and skilled workers move away from this beautiful continent of ours?
Okay, so I think it's a mindset thing. First of all, we need to reorient ourselves, our minds, that Africa has all Africa needs.
To develop
Africa, Nigeria has all Nigeria needs.
I agree with you.
Yes, so we don't need to go out there or run away from our continent or country to make it in life, in quotes, but staying back and building and asking yourself, what do I really need to contribute? You know, when you're always thinking of how to make your country better, how to make your community better, you wouldn't have the need of traveling and Nigeria also needs to make Nigeria work. Africa needs to make Africa work. We need to come back home and look inward. What is really the problem? Why are the young people, Nigeria has like what's it called, young people advantage. Exactly. The workforce is here. In fact,
over 60-something%
of young people, and Europe, China, a lot of foreign guys, they know this and we don't know it. So when they come to Nigeria to do a transaction, to carry out business in Africa, they know exactly what they are doing. I call it modern day slavery. Yeah, what is happening is modern day slavery, and the change.
Sometimes the kind of things you they are able and willing to be subjected to, the kind of things they are subjected to.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You would never tell a graduate to do it in Nigeria.
And in fact, they'll be like me, a graduate, BSc holder, MSc. But when they go out there, they are willing to do it. So I think the chains left our legs and it's in our mind. So we need to break the chains in our mind to know that Africa is sufficient. Nigeria is more than enough for us. But it boils down to, are they willing to do the to do the work. Okay,
But has this reawakening reached our African leaders, where you say, you know what, USAID funding has been cut, there are hiccups with developmental funding and all of that, so Africa is saying, let's look inward, let's solve our problems with the peculiarities that we have, a more relatable format. We don't have to go through standards. I mean, we have it takes to have. Has that awakening come? And that awakening, I'm feeling like the telltale signs for it will be renewed vigor in initiatives to enhance.
So that brings us to the PPP.
Exactly.
Yeah, the private-public partnerships. I see that the federal government is partnering with the Abia state government in the shoe factory to make garments for the civil. Is it the civil servants, those in the paramilitary? I beg your pardon. Yeah, and
is this against? Were we having to import those things?
Yes, we were importing before now. So, but right now, the garment factory has a capacity of producing 1,500 per day.
Per day?
Yeah, per day. So, with the new partnership, they are going to scale. That is commendable.
Pius, I mean, there were schools in Nigeria that were. I remember my children's school were importing fabrics.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And during PTA, a lot of us were livid.
They import fabrics.
Importing fabrics.
Wow.
And we are still in that colonial mindset. I did a vox pop. I think I should do it again, where I asked people in the street, how would you feel if your students, the schools, public schools, use the Ankara as uniforms?
Yes, that's owning our identity.
How do you feel if you go to the bank and the bankers, the workers there use Ankara as a corporate attire? And a lot of Nigerians were like, I won't take them seriously.
That is where the mindset problem comes in. Like, they stripped us off of the Africanness and then brought a foreign.
I was really
So I think what the Abia state government and the federal government are doing is really commendable, and also the Benue State food projects. Benue City food project that is ongoing. I think is BENAP. That is spearheading it.
I have a friend, John Paul. John Paul was
the one that posted. They made the post, but then I have my reservation about that. Is that what Benue State really needs at this particular point in time? Do they need to start up a project with foreign partnership? Because I believe the federal government could have been able to step in.
Question. I think I should bring John Paul one of these days to come and discuss this.
Really, I really needed to hear from him. What do they stand to gain? Because they are selling the deal for 25 years. Then the project will be handed over to Benue State after 25 years.
They call it Food City.
Yeah, Food City.
That's supposed to combine
30,000 hectares of land in Otupo.
Farmland.
In Otupo.
I should bring.
So I think he needs to shed more light to that, because I want to know, or the Nigerian youth wants to find out, what is Benue State's gaining.
You're a typical African. You're very skeptical about international interference in what we're doing.
Yes.
And it's very legitimate. A lot of times we've seen deals like that do not necessarily benefit us, but the funding is coming. But it doesn't benefit us. Do we really own this? And
25 years is too much of a time. It's a long time. It's a long time.
The Nigerian Tribune newspaper quickly to go to the Daily Times newspaper.
Okay.
The Daily Times is leading with the Rivers State story. It says Fubara can't decide for Rivers whether or not to return as governor. Residents are saying. Yesterday, it was announced that Governor Fubara, in spite of the advocacy, the support he's gotten, he said his spirit has even left the state, because there was even a comment that was credited to him where he said, have you seen me? In these short weeks, I have freshened up. Do you want me to go back to all that chaos? And in his defense, really, it was chaotic.
Yeah.
Shortly after he was inaugurated as governor, oh my God.
It has been one crisis to another.
It has been one crisis to the other. The guy has not had a breather. So I can understand why he's like, you know what, I'm not in a hurry. Let me, you know. But the residents are saying constitutionally, I mean, we voted for you because we believed in you. Forget the interference. I know when you bring this issue up, they will tell you about how he got the support from the current minister and all of that. But I felt it was a slap on the faces of everyone who had been supporting him. What do you think? Fubara can't decide for Rivers. The residents are saying. Rivers people are saying you can't decide whether you come back or not.
You
would return.
Okay, that's democracy at its peak. And if the people are saying power belongs to the people, yes, we need to understand that power belongs to the people, whether the government or whoever likes it or not. The people are the ones, like you're running a company and then, you know, you decide who works for you. Right. So Nigeria is a company and we are the employers. You know, so that is what they are telling him. We employed you, you have to do the job because we know you are capable of doing the job. So you don't have a say. And I feel right now it's a bit messy and he wouldn't want to go deeper into it, and he's trying to save himself because when there's a story, there's always a backstory. Yeah, and the people are saying no, you have to come back. It is not about the people right now. It is about him. He knows exactly why he's running away or why he's taking the time, all the time in the world to get his shit together. So I feel the people of River, they are in sync. They have one voice, but their voices are being subdued by a higher power. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes.
Well, we move on quickly now to other stories right here on the Daily Times newspaper. It says Fubara can't decide. Okay, we've already read that. Above the masthead or the nameplate of the Daily Times newspaper, 2027, it says here, doom awaits PDP without reforms. That's coming from the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Dooms await PDP without reforms. And if you go to, other papers also credited him to have said that if the PDP still fields a northerner, they would completely fail. With the dynamics of this new political landscape, we're seeing an ABGA governor, that's a governor supporting a presidential candidate of another party. So Ludo has not minced words about that. He tells you, you know what, I support Tinubu. A lot of people are saying, but you have an ABGA presidential candidate. What happens to him? We're seeing a Wike who is an elder statesman of the PDP, in quotes of course, supporting and standing by the mandate and even having an appointment from the APC, and yet still having a strong say in the PDP. Do you think during that, they had, I think, a National Working Committee meeting yesterday or so, do you think he was met with skepticism? Because, I can only understand how a lot of other PDP members will be like, where do you really stand?
Where do you stand? Choose a side. Okay, I think he has chosen, and he has made it public. He has made it known that this is where he's standing.
Where does he stand?
Of course, he's supporting the sitting president, so it means that is where he is. But he's trying to say, I can eat my cake and have it.
Okay, okay. I'm happy you have so seamlessly.
Yes,
he also seamlessly analyzed the issue. But he's also asking PDP for better reform. That goes without saying. What do you think?
For better reform. It's like asking them to just give up whatever thing they are doing in terms of the new policies or workings, in the party, to support the person that he is bringing forward for 2027. Because everything that is happening right now is a road trip to 2027. Hope we all know that PDP, APC, they are all one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there?
Yeah.
Are there?
They are.
Because I agree with you in some way, because people just move very thoughtlessly, and you ask yourself, do you really agree with what the PDP stands for? But if you and I have to analyze the manifesto of the PDP and APC, they are brothers from the same mother.
That is it. They are. That's why I said they are.
Okay, so we move on now. The Labour Party is begging Tinubu to rein in Governor Oti over alleged threat to to Abure, national working members are saying, I do not understand that story. I have not read the background to it,
Okay.
but it's on page 7 of the Daily Times. The Labour Party is having big boy problems. It's like they've been invited to the big boy table.
Yeah.
Now they are faced with big boy issues. How do you see 2027 coming up? They're already having factions at the moment.
Okay, so I think the Labour Party, just like I stated earlier, a house that is divided cannot stand. And once there is a division or there's a bit of fraction and all of that, there's going to be a bit of war, and eventually everybody will have to leave and maybe merge with another party. You know, that's what I foresee. Yeah, I foresee a stronger alliance with other parties.
Right.
Yeah, and the Labour Party
we're
just
already
there.
recording that.
Yeah, they're
I mean,
recording that.
I mean, I say I didn't see it coming in this massive,
Exactly.
in this number. Maybe I didn't. But we move on now quickly to the Punch newspaper. The Punch is leading with the story: 54.9 trillion budget. 54.9 trillion naira budget. Federal government, World Bank at odds over funding strategy. And the writers here says bank fears government may resort to CBN emergency funds, false budget parameters, minister counters. The back and forth on the 54.9 trillion naira budget. But oh my goodness, I'm just seeing the picture here of Chief Edwin Clark. Bielsa set to immortalize Clark amid tributes from Jonathan Deary. Clark was like a father to me. I met him about a month or so before he passed. That touches me.
My condolences.
That touches me. And yes, one thing you would always say about Edwin Clark, I wasn't there when he passed, but I can tell you, he sounded intelligently. You know, there's something that happens when you grow very old.
Yeah.
You start having a bit of memory loss. You're not very. Your memory.
Yeah.
And there's a word I'm trying. Not Alzheimer's. There's another word I'm trying to remember for. Some of them are when they get that old, they're unable to even get their thoughts together. Not Chief Edwin Clark.
Awesome.
To the end, he was an intelligent mind. You could have very intelligent conversations with him. He will correct your grammar.
Oh my God.
Yes, it was interesting to see a 97-year-old.
Oh, he was 97.
Yes, he was 97 at the time. I think he was supposed to, he was 97. He spoke so intelligently. He knew exactly what was going on around the world, around Nigeria. He still wrote articles. Oh yes.
I guess he kept feeding himself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so we would miss him. He was a strong tower for the Niger Delta. We would all miss him. And I as he journeys to the beyond, my loving thoughts are with him. Moving on from that very sad story that's going to get me emotional, we move on now.
We have to move fast.
Yes, please, let's move fast. Above the masthead of the Punch newspaper, it says why Tinubu would defeat PDP again in 2027. That's how the Punch newspaper phrases Wike's conversation. It says, the writer here says, Saraki heads 7-man PDP reconciliation panel. Remember the G5?
Yeah, the G5. Crazy time.
They disrupted everything.
It was a crazy period for everybody.
It was. But my question now would be: do you think we can move away from all that has happened and actually reconcile to say, you know what? You were very instrumental to the loss of the 2023 elections. Well, we reconcile. We want you back in the party. You're still holding very pivotal roles within the party. Is it even possible? I know politics is not emotional.
Yeah, it's not.
But
you have to be sure.
This one hits hard. I am not PDP, but I'm angry for PDP.
Yeah. Okay, so that's like saying, oh, I forgive you, but it will be difficult to forget. And then extending like a hand of love and
olive branch.
And and trying to embrace people you know that, oh my God, they did you dirty. It's going to be a bit difficult. yeah, it's going to be a bit difficult because you would feel like, oh, what if they
but in this entire reconciliatory talks, we also have an article of the PDP that's also working really hard to form a coalition. And you're asking yourself, is he now going to stop? Because it is speculated, it's alleged that he is in cahoots with El-Rufai, who has now joined the SDP.
Exactly.
What's going on there?
I think, yeah, it's going to be an interesting time, and we keep our fingers crossed and we are watching. Yeah, because I don't think you would want to just, give it all away.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we move on from that. Oil drilling to resume in the north. NNPCL is saying that's something to celebrate, but is the oil still a very attractive commodity to have? I know for a very long time it would not necessarily, we cannot replace it completely, but with electric cars and CNGs and other alternatives, is it still an attractive a venture to put into?
Yeah, the oil sector is still very much an attractive venture, and there are disadvantages just like there are advantages. Yeah, when it comes to CNG, I do not think that CNG is very sustainable.
Why not?
Because there are lots of disadvantages.
Are there?
Yeah, there are.
Okay, let me hear what you think. I'm interested because I am one who has been all about infusing CNG to our transport system.
Okay, so when it comes to the danger of overeating, like there are lots of dangers around.
You know, it's not combustive.
But there can be an explosion,
we're just having a conversation.
We're just having a conversation around it.
When there are combustions like that, we've had issues. 100% of the time, it comes from smart Nigerians who want to fabricate this equipment themselves.
Okay.
But when you go to the designated places and you do your conversion with equipment that has the temperatures and everything that considers all these things, it never combusts.
Okay, so how many vehicles, because most times what we are looking at is the people in rural community, the Nigerians who cannot afford some of these basic some of the basic needs. So how many vehicles or public transport can actually afford conversion of CNG?
Oh, and that is why the conversion story is a different one. I would suggest that the government should do more in subsidizing so that Nigerians do not take out of pocket. And when this initiative was also introduced, I think 30,000, I can't remember how many right now, commercial vehicles were given free conversion kits.
Okay.
Yes, the federal government did that, and that was an initiative that I said yes to. I read a report recently, I can't remember what state it is, I think it was in Lagos State, where transportation has drastically reduced because
Lagos.
Yes, because transporters, some of the vehicles are using CNG and it's way cheaper.
Way cheaper.
So have I converted you?
I think about it.
Have I converted you? With these little words of mine, have
you have.
Because I want to convert my vehicle.
Okay,
really.
to CNG.
Yes, the only reason I haven't is because I want to change car. Anybody that has support to give should start doing it. I want to change my vehicle, and even though I have been told that I could move my conversion kit to the new car. I'm still unsure of what I am getting next, because if it's a different model, the V6 and all those stories, I'm told it may need another kind of kit that would be compatible.
So you have to be patient and then get
that. Otherwise, I have friends who have converted. The only issue they have at the moment is that we do not have enough facilities at the moment.
Interesting.
Yes, and so sometimes queues are very, very huge, you know,
Wow.
just to get this kit,
Yeah.
just to refill.
Yes,
But beyond that,
CNG is good to go. It's a welcome idea, and for the climate, it's
Cleaner.
actually,
It's
cleaner.
it's
That's why I
cleaner.
said there are pros and cons to these
Yeah,
things.
it's
Yeah,
cleaner.
it's cleaner.
So UK unveils to slash annual immigration by 100,000. 100, like my village will say, 1,000. 100,000.
And Africans are
100,000.
crying.
And I'm sure. I mean, if places like UK, a lot of us will yab ourselves and say that's like Lagos Annex.
Extension.
Lagos Annex. You go there and say, oh, people who have responses for you. But we also have a lot of Asians trooping into the UK.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have that. 100,000 is a lot. Some of us who love our country will visit and return. We don't need
That's it, right away.
We
Visit and come back.
Lagos APC aspirants protest today over local government primaries. A push to crash drug prices gains fake approval. Push to crash fake. I think I stumbled on that report. They call it Medipool. There's a new initiative that the Minister of Health, Professor Pate, is introducing. I think he called it Medipool, something that will, because I think he's been hearing me on the show every day. I'm constantly criticizing the fact that we do not have a better plan to subsidize pharmaceuticals for people. We do not have health insurance that caters for a lot of Nigerians. Unfortunately, we Nigerians have to pay out of pocket if you
every time.
Oh my goodness.
You just have to pay.
Have a conversation with a diabetic patient who needs these drugs all the time, or have a conversation with a hypertensive patient. You realize that it's not funny. It's not funny at all.
Or someone with
I am happy that there's even an initiative to reduce the cost of pharmaceuticals, and I'm very happy about that. We quickly move on now. Oh yeah, let's pray that it is
progress.
Yeah, that's progress. But let's pray that it's transparent.
Yeah,
and
then
really
fair.
It's fair. Yeah. To the Daily Trust newspaper we move. World Bank queries NNPCL's remittance of subsidy proceeds. Here we go again. Subsidy proceeds. Are we in subsidy? Are we not in subsidy? Have we pulled out? Are we not pulling out? How can we determine the remittance? That story for another day. Girl, I have no plan to go there. Below the nameplate of the Daily Trust newspaper, expect electoral reforms before 2027. INEC chair is saying.
Okay, expect electoral reforms before 2027. I know Randy has been all about, Randy Peters.
Yes.
Yeah, he has been all about electoral reforms, and I think it's a good step for young people, and we all need to be carried along. Yeah, we cannot just sit down and then get something served on our tables without knowing what it is and it's for us.
I agree with you, but I've had conversations where it's like we are just positioned. When I say we, I'm adding myself as a young person, of course. A lot of young people are just positioned to complain, to criticize, and not being part of this. I remember before the Electoral Act was signed, there were several conversations, consultations, and engagements to ensure that all sectors, CSOs were carried along, everyone was represented, PWDs, everyone was represented in that policy document. And when it was eventually signed, then others now came up with the flaws, you know. So I would just suggest that we get more involved. We have mechanisms that ensures everyone participates.
Yeah. Okay, so when we say everyone participates, we should not also forget that there are lots of young people in rural communities. Like I'm very big on rural communities because
they must have their voices.
Yeah, must have their voices. So how do we bring these people to participate, to have a say? So it doesn't look like it's just the urban guys.
How is it that when these people have to vote, when campaign seasons come, they are reached? But when it's time to have their representatives and have their conversations, have their engagement, we now say, how do they? I don't think it's rocket science.
We need to use the carrot and stick approach to get them.
No, it doesn't even have to be that complex.
Vigorous, yeah.
It doesn't have to be that complex. I just feel like it's we have to have purpose
Okay.
to include them. It's not rocket science. Mobilize me, Joy.
Yeah,
actually,
like
I would get
I'm big
you
on
youth
community.
leaders.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
always
get you
big on
youth
mobilizing
leaders.
them.
Yes, I will mobilize youth leaders for you ASAP.
Hmm.
If you want youth leaders, they don't have to come and speak fancy English.
No,
just
they
want-
don't.
They just have to speak and talk about what is relatable to
Yeah.
them and what they would like to see. Because at the end of the day, that's the demo. That's
I think
what
we can also
democracy-
use the door-to-door approach.
the door-to-door approach.
Yeah,
I mean,
to get
why
them,
not?
to
I
get
mean, why
them.
not?
Different
when
community.
you want to ensure your constituents vote for you, you use all
the measures. Yeah.
So, but when it comes to something that it benefits,
Yeah, because this is
Exactly.
policy that at the end of the day, it's going to be like, I mean, it's going to either make them or
mad
them. So
I mean,
we
look
need
at
to
how
bring
many
them.
how many representatives. I mean,
Yeah, so that is why we have this.
Lost their seats because they
Oh,
weren't
dear
even
Lord.
sure of what the tenets of this electoral act was. So we all have to follow the process,
we have to be on our
understand
feet.
it before. Exactly,
Check
we
it.
need to understand it and participate and engage, criticize it at the formative level. Okay, so Damagun's tenure, National Secretary position threatened PDP NEC convention. Damagun's tenure, National Secretary position threatened NEC convention. Fly Eagles dethrone Senegal, qualify for World Cup. That's an interesting one. And at the footer, okay, you want to do
The Flying Eagle defeats Senegal. Okay, we are always okay. So the problem is not defeating right now. The problem is getting to the World Cup and actually making.
But it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it's a good thing.
I'm not a sports fanatic per se,
Okay.
or rather sports. What's that word you people use?
Fan.
Fan.
Yeah,
per se.
but I'm a sport fan, so
Well, I am
Okay,
all
like it.
for Nigeria.
Yeah, Nigeria
just
making the
win.
news.
As long as I just see
oh, Nigeria won the World Cup.
Nigeria, I'm like, yeah. And I
That's
did not
it.
know what it entails
You follow
to have
through, yeah.
to follow through. At the footer of the Daily Trust newspaper, Boko Haram launches attack on another military base in Borno State. Yesterday, I was saying it here that we are recording too many attacks like this to our military bases
Yeah.
and formations. Something has to be done. If the military bases are attacked, who are you and I?
Yeah, that's actually disheartening because we are not sure of our security because we don't even have the weapons to, I mean, defend ourselves, and people who have the weapons are being attacked.
Exactly.
So there is need for a for tighter security, which is what Nigeria needs right now, because when there's no security, no business, you and I will not be here.
Exactly.
So that's like the basic need right
We
now.
sometimes forget and take it for granted.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people are forgetting that security matter is
Serious
everybody's matter. Is life matter, is food matter, is, I mean, work
I agree
matter.
with you.
So
I
we need
agree.
to really take it to be serious. We need to take it seriously.
Mary Pius, thank you so much for being a partner and a wonderful resource on the newspaper review segment. Thank you for your contributions.
Thank you. It was nice being here. And,
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to more of you.
it was really interesting.
Yeah, so we've been
conversation.
discussing the newspapers with Mary Pius, who is the country rep, West Africa Youth Alliance. But it's time for agriculture for today and tomorrow with Daniel Black, who would be, like I said earlier, giving us those very important updates and tips around agriculture, what you need to know about being part of this food security drive that the federal government and globally seems to be a global drive, really. Thank you so much for being part of it. We would be back after agriculture for today and tomorrow.
The challenge of Nigeria as a free state in 20th century Africa is the need to revive the stature of man in Africa and restore the dignity of man in the world. Nigerians believe passionately in the fundamental human rights. We regard all races of the human family as equal. Under no circumstance shall we accept the idea that the black race is inferior to any other race. I appeal to all our leaders, far and near, to forget the wounds which were inflicted in cause of our internecine altercation. The love of our country should should outweigh the love of our petty selves. The enjoyment of individual freedom under the law should mean more to us than our self-centered party programs and manifestos. Common dangers and common enemies alert us on the need for common security. Come and join Abubakar with me, Sadauna, Awolowo, Akitola, Ofarebe, Okpara, Ikoku, Aminu Kano, Ibrahim Imam, and Saka. Let us bind the nation's wound and let us heal the breaches of the past so that in forging our nation, there shall emerge on this continent a hate-free, fear-free, and greed-free people who shall be in the vanguard of a world task force whose assignment is not only to revive the stature of man in Africa, but to restore the dignity of man in the world.
Of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream, GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream, GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream, GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. Breaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Abuja. It's beautiful to be on your TV show this morning. This is Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow, where we promote smart solutions for greener harvest. I remain Daniel Black, your host, and remember, this is a Media for Agricultural Development Program of GSAI. And we have been carrying on a series of highlight on cash crops in Nigeria, most staple crops in Nigeria, and how we are able to identify the different value chains, the different byproducts that can be made from these crops. You see, we are on a war against exportation of our raw materials. It is unfortunate that even our crude oil is exported as a raw material with very minimal, little percentage of it being refined. And we have identified the fact that these our raw materials, when exported, come back to us in higher prices, come back to us at different commodities that we sell at higher prices. And these are things that naturally we should be able to produce here. So today we'll be continuing on that series, and we will be throwing some spotlight on cashew. Cashew, yes, cashew. Cashew is a crop that, in fact, when I came to Abuja newly, I saw cashew. Cashew was, because previously where I was, cashew was not down south. Cashew did not really grow in my environment. It's something that in fact, I only knew the nuts, the already fried nuts. That was the cashew that I knew. So it was more like it was supposed to be some big deal. But I came into Abuja, and cashew grows like wheat. Almost on every land in Abuja there is cashew. And then I got to find out that down south in Cross River there is cashew. Cashew is a crop that grows easily, without stress. You can have a full cashew orchard without planting one seed, because every year the seeds are propagating themselves. Every year it is growing. If you cut down a cashew tree without totally uprooting and cutting down, severing all the roots, you find out that your cashew will sprout out in less than 3-6 months. You would have a full cashew tree. So, and one gets to wonder, why is Nigeria not milking cash out of cashew? If it is something that is growing everywhere, anywhere, anyhow, why are we not, for the abundant benefits of cashew, why are we not making use of it? So if you go to places like Okene, like Kaba, Ida, and Lokoja in Kogi State, you will find cashew in abundant quantity. If you go to places like Usuka and Udi in Enugu State down south, cashew is propagated in much quantity. And mind you, I stand to be corrected, and of course it will be very, very few. Most of these cashew are naturally expressed. Most of them are not cashews that people once said, I took my time to plant. Most of them are naturally expressed, and you find them so much. If you're passing through the they call it the snake road. If you're coming in from Enugu towards and going down south, or yes, you're going to Lagos from Enugu, or either way, you pass through the snake road. Cashew is in abundance. It's a forest of cashews. You go to Ogbomosho, Ishe, Saki, those places in Oyo State, you find cashew in large quantities. Now, these are locations where there is cashew in large quantities. So, by the time we start highlighting the benefits, the byproducts you can produce from cashew, you can know where to go find them. In Anambra State, you find them in Ogbaru, in Orumba. In Kwara State, you can find them in Ilorin, in Ofa, in Omuara. Sorry, I may not be pronouncing it well, but at least you get the idea. In Benue State, of course, Makurdi and Otukpo. Yes, I've seen this one when you're traveling by road. Makurdi and Otukpo. In Otukpo, you definitely will get to see cashew. It's sold, it's available in abundance in those places. In Edo State, you have it in Benin City and the surrounding regions. Of course, in Cross River, you have Ikom and Obudu. In Ekiti State, Ado Ekiti and Ikere Ekiti, they have cashew in abundance. Ogun State, you have Abeokuta and Ijebu-Ode. So you can see that out of 37 states in Nigeria, 10 of them, and then this list does not carry Abuja. Abuja, where it is growing in abundance. Abuja, where if you hear a place they call forest, any garden that they call forest is made up of cashew trees. This list does not carry Abuja. So you find out that we have 10 out of 37 states producing cashew in abundant quantity. The question now rises, why are we not having so much companies come up to produce, to process, add value to the cashew, in the cashew industry? All right, so let's talk about some of the things that you can make from cashew. Now, so we are going to segment it into the different parts of the cashew. So let's see if you have the nuts. All right, what can be done from the nuts? We have the cashew kernels. The roasted cashew, this one is very popular. You see it in restaurants, you see it in supermarkets, even by the roadside, or when traveling by road, you get to find people hawking cashew, tied in leather bags, the roasted cashew. You have the flavored cashew, you have cashew butter. Butter can be made out of cashew. You have cashew flour. We know that this flour is very, very essential. And it comes as, of course, it comes as a hygienic and medical alternative to the current cashew. So cashew contains a whole lot of nutrients, a whole lot of flavonoids. It is a very, very healthy alternative. And once, if we can have people aggregating all these cashews and making cashew flour out of it, and then people that are medically challenged will of course go for this cashew, because the moment it's a flour, it can be made to used to produce confectionaries. It can be used to make swallow. It can be used to make a whole lot of things that flours are used to make. Of course, we have cashew cheese, and of course we have cashew milk. So cashew milk, for those that are lactose intolerant, there is a non-dairy milk used in beverages and cooking. And yes, of course, for our brothers and sisters that are vegetarians, you can always have milk. You can get your milk from cashew. So somebody can invest in non-animal fat milk production, and then go to one of these places, set up a factory and produce milk from the cashew nut. You are able to produce milk from the raw cashew nut, and then of course sell it. You will have a whole lot of both for people that are medically challenged, people that have a hygiene issue, people that are trying to watch their weight and all of that. They would of course be a very, very major market for you. So moving on from the cashew nut, the apple itself, that edible part, that very soft and succulent part, the cashew, of course, you know that that edible part can give us cashew juice. Cashew juice is a very, very strong antioxidant that is very, very rich in vitamin C and can be like an organic source. So if you have cashew juice in your house, instead of buying the chemically produced vitamin C, you can have that as a supplement in your home, a very cold, beautiful drink of supplement. So you can have cashew apple jam made from the pulp. So you can make jam made from the pulp of the apple. Cashew wine. This goes beyond just the juice. You can express it the moment you begin to ferment it. You can have it in that at that level. So wine is the extra processing of the juice. You can also have cashew vinegar made through the fermentation process, and you can have cashew apple slices like snacks. It could be in form of flakes. It could come in any form. So you slice it, you preserve it, and then of course you can dehydrate it, and it's like a cashew flake. So these are various business options that private individuals, small businesses, you do not need multi-millionaires to set up these kind of plants. All you need to do is to locate a very, very highly quality and dependable raw materials availability. That is, so you set up close to any of these hubs that we have mentioned. Now the shell, the cashew shell, you know that the nut comes in a shell, right? And you have to break it to get to the main edible nut. So that shell is very, very useful. So we have cashew nut shell liquid extracted from the shell, and it's used in industrial applications such as resins, paints, coatings, and adhesives. It's also used for bioplastics and biofuels. It is an anti-termite and waterproofing material. That is the liquid gotten from the shell of cashew. Interesting. This is an anti-termite and anti-waterproofing liquid from cashew shell. Did you know that? So we have this in a whole lot, is wasting in abundance. Do we have people extracting and milking this from cashew that we have as an abundant crop in Nigeria? Alright, so it can also be used, the shells can also be used as activated carbon. So when you burn the cashew shells, used in water purification and filtration system. Activated carbon, a carbon char is also used in the farm to reduce acidity, to control soil pH on the farm, and of course support the soil nutrients with different macronutrients that are needed in the soil. So the cashew nut can also serve as an activated carbon. Do we have people aggregating and collecting these nuts and turning it into aggregated carbon, into activated carbon? And of course there are other byproducts that are innovative. We have the cashew oil extracted from the nut for culinary and cosmetic use. We have animal feed, leftovers of cashews. Both the apple, the nut, and the shell can be used as animal feed. There is complaint about from farmers all over. Every poultry farmer is complaining of the rising cost of feed, of synthetic feed, of blended feed. Why are we not looking for this alternative? Why are we not going for this alternative? Why are we not able to have people that are bringing these things together and are in the market? We should be having alternative feed in the market. Alright, it can also serve as organic fertilizer. Of course, it's a plant, it's a crop, and then it can serve as organic fertilizer. Once decomposed, can be used in the farm. So cashew processing can yield high value products for both consumption and industrial applications, making it a lucrative option for agro-industrial ventures. Yeah, so basically that is what we'll be taking today on the show. Highlights on cashew, showing what cashew can be used for, especially being a major product in the Nigerian ecosystem. It is something that grows effortlessly. Thank you so much for being on the show. I hope I've inspired somebody. I hope I've we've been able to to give someone an idea on how to invest, on how to come in, on how to set up a business in the agricultural space. See you in the next episode. Follow us on social media. If you have other uses of cashew that has not been mentioned in this show, you can put it on social media. You go through our social media at GSAI, that's Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative. So that's the short form, at GSA Initiative. On Facebook, on LinkedIn, on IG, and of course on YouTube. You can follow us there, continue the conversation about this. Thank you, and see you in the next episode.
In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream, GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream, GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greener solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Welcome back from that, Daniel Black. Thank you so much for agriculture for today and tomorrow. But this is where we draw the curtains on today's show. It's been a wonderful one. I hope you've learned a thing or two, especially as Daniel Black just mentioned, all you need to know about the world of agriculture. We'll be back tomorrow, God willing, to continue what we always do, ensuring you are informed. Have a productive day.